Hello, ONUG community. It's great to be here and share the stage with one of our customers, S&P Global. I'm Chris Wade, CTO of Itential. Itential is a network automation software company. We work with enterprise customers like S&P Global to drive operational efficiency through network automation. And we're excited to be here today with Guru Prasad. I'd like to introduce you.
Chris, thank you so much for inviting us, and it's a pleasure to be part of the ONUG forum. I'm Guru Prasad. I'm the Global Head of Network Architecture, Engineering, and Operations at S&P Global. Today, we are excited to share about our network automation journey in this forum.
Awesome. So today's panel and keynotes on achieving same-day delivery of network services through automation. So maybe you start by explaining what you mean by same-day delivery, and then we'll get into your background.
Well, great start, right? Same day is almost like today, right? Our customers demand for services that can be delivered same day. That includes ability to deliver a product, ability to deliver a code to production, ability to deliver a service, ability to deliver data almost same day, for which the infrastructure teams like network teams are gearing up to deliver our services almost same day. That way we can enable and empower our customers to deliver the same level of services to their customers. That way, the services are much more nimble, reliable, consumable, and it can be consumed same day, not wait for the SLAs to kick in, not wait for the tickets to come and flow through. Rather, through the automation, we have started delivering services of network to our internal customers same day.
Awesome. So I know we're going to get into that. Maybe for folks in the community that aren't familiar, you can give a little background on what your network and cloud infrastructure looks like.
Absolutely right. I'm sure many of you know about S&P Global. We are a independent ratings, benchmark, analytics, and data provider for capital and commodity markets worldwide, which means about 80 plus countries. To deliver the data much more efficiently in real time, we operate our infrastructure in 3 multi-cloud providers, and we have our infrastructure hosted in 10 different data centers globally, and our 24,000 employees work tirelessly to deliver the services from 60 different offices and, of course, in their homes today. Infrastructure of this scale and this big is robust enough, and to deliver services the same day that we talked in the beginning requires full automation, a very powerful automation strategy, which is what we will talk about in the coming coming series. But in this, the context is making sure that we are able to deliver an infrastructure of this scale almost same day, which is a hybrid infrastructure that we operate in cloud and data center and offices.
Seems quite ambitious, and I'm sure there's a lot of folks listening that can relate to your challenge. But maybe you can explain vision to value and maybe some of the goals for not only your team but your organization.
Absolutely right. The work that we have done in the past years got us here. What that means is ability to envision something in the morning and deliver the value towards the end of the day. What that means is you meet a customer in the morning and he's asking you for a feature, and can we deliver that same day? That's the value, right? So ability to vision something and ability to deliver the value. To do that, that's not purely applicable for the external facing products, but that's truly applicable for the infrastructure that's behind the scenes. That applies for network. A developer asking for a load balancer, developer asking for a firewall service, DNS service, anything for that matter requires a requirement from a developer, but ability to deliver that almost same day. What that means is enabling our developers to have the speed to deploy code to the production requires automation. And of course, when we do automation and deliver things at speed, our cost gets optimized because we are removing the manual repetitive task required to automate completely. And more importantly, the reliability increases because the entire infrastructure is much more reliable. And more importantly, because it's reliable, we're able to today deliver that in the speed at a good cost and as well as deliver at a value. That with the entire industry moving towards DevOps model, enabling that pipeline at a larger enterprise level like S&P Global requires full enablement of network services as well, which means deliver those load balancers, firewalls, DNS, and DHCP capability, such as a purely API driven, catalog driven, and self-service driven. And this creates a bigger flexibility for developers. They don't need to make a phone call. They don't need to log a ticket. They don't need to follow up and follow through, right? It creates a complete flexibility of having a pipeline for an enterprise and having an infrastructure branch in it. And that infrastructure branch talks to the core services such as networking and drive the requirements of a developer, which makes the developer life easier and makes the services such as the infrastructure components at a ease of use. And this is what we practice at S&P Global. This is what we do at S&P Global, ability to take all these capabilities, put them through the pipeline, enable and empower our developers to deliver our services, deliver the code same day.
So maybe you can help us understand, like, what changed in the expectation from your end users? You know, people have been using cloud services. People are getting more used to consumption-based models. But why now? Like, what's happened? You know, in the last year, the last 18 months that's driving? Because this sounds like it's larger than maybe just the network. It's kind of IT infrastructure in mass. Obviously, we're focused on the network and cloud pieces, but kind of give everybody some understanding of what's changed. Why now?
Absolutely right. The customers are demanding, right? The absolute requirements are coming from the customer itself, right? They want the services, they want to see the feature, they want to see the capability to be delivered same day, right? To do that, the only best way is to make our services much more self-service, much more flexible, and make it ease of use. And the data is much more driving us to make it real time, and we deliver our services almost real time in several countries. To do that, we cannot wait, and we have to have the same speed at which the developer is today delivering the code, and likewise the infrastructure has to work at the same speed to deliver the services. And post COVID, certainly the advancement in digital transformation and the acceleration in the digital journey has enabled us and pushed us further to get into the mode of full automation and deliver the entire network services as a self-service mode.
Awesome. Maybe we can move on to some of the challenges. I mean, this is quite ambitious. You know, at the basic, it's let's move from kind of a human-based model to an automation-based model. But maybe you can give us some of the challenges as you've embarked on this journey.
Absolutely right. I mean, this is a great segue into where we are and how we got it here. And of course, all of us who are dealing with networks that are built over many years have come through some of the common challenges on the screen, right? Which is having a system that was built in the past, that were built very recently, and the systems that are built that are going to be built new. And with a combination of on-prem infrastructure, combination of cloud infrastructure, makes the entire system hybrid and very disparate, and which also draws unique complexities. And of course, at S&P Global, as you have seen, we also deal with the similar challenges that everybody is going through. But the key is, when we dealt with these challenges, the goal is to ability to scale. When we started our automation, the plan is to make sure where to start, how to start, and how do we scale this whole infrastructure. The scale requires making sure that we select right tool sets, right capability, and right platform to deliver the services. And that's another challenge we have kept in mind when we picked up our automation journey. And last but not least, the team. The team plays a critical role. Within the network industry, all of us are good network engineers, but of course, the industry has, as a combination of network engineers, come software developers. It is very important to make a right decision. Do we need to reskill? How much you want to reskill? And what's the timeline to reskill? Rather, the industry is moving towards low code and no code platforms where the time required to reskill, retrain people can be significantly reduced by choosing a right platform and right technologies, where you have to understand how do you do your job and how do you translate that into a logical functions into the platforms of low code environments. And that is S&P Global, we certainly came through all these challenges and we had overcome that.
Yeah, I think the human side of this is something that the community's really focused on. You know, how have you thought about building teams, refocusing skills and training to kind of take this on, both within your team and maybe wider? Because I've heard you talk about low code and no code, but we've also talked a lot about kind of an infrastructure as code mindset as the target. So it seems like there's this journey where we need to get the most people to participate in automation. But how has your team and your leadership thought about that?
I think at the very fundamental, the mindset and the culture is important, right? I mean, ability for every single member in your team to understand where the business is going, what the customers are asking. So when the customer asks for a requirement, it's just not only the leadership team hearing. Every single member in the team had an opportunity to listen to the customer pain points and ability to translate that into how do we overcome this. So when the whole team understand what the business is looking for, and then we all came together, and then we said, okay, let's, the solution to this is automation, but how do we automate? Can we just go complete open source, pick and automate? But that's going to take a lot of time and challenges such as open sources, where we have to scale to the amount of devices that we deal with in a hybrid environment. And the goal is to make sure, how do we translate our knowledge around writing playbooks into a true workflow driven model, so that we don't need to code a lot, rather we can translate those playbooks and logic and CLI structure into a true workflow, and we can translate that workflow into a backend code, right? And that's where we evaluated products, and we did a lot of POC with the vendors, and finally we landed on Itential, where we were able to find a capability of low code, capability of integration with downstream and upstream tools, and ability to build that as a part of the ongoing strategy.
Yeah, we're very excited about the fact of when we first met, we had a lot of alignment around our guiding principles, which basically drives how we think about the solution and think about helping customers solve the problem. So maybe you can give a little bit more insight into why S&P Global chose Itential.
Absolutely right. The POC played a very critical role, like I said, when we met for the first time, and when the engagement started. As you know, we created a real Scrum team, which is a combination of our team and your team, worked together for several weeks to really come up and show the business value and outcome from the platform itself and what they can deliver as a service. Our teams showed quick wins, such as ability to deliver a F5 configurations from days to minutes, right? Ability to deliver a firewall rule from minutes to seconds. Things started translating. Our teams on the ground started realizing the true value of delivering services almost same day, without a need to go through the huge reskilling process of learning open source coding, either Java or C++ or Python. So rather, they have to learn functions, they have to learn fundamental problem solving capabilities, and find out how to perfectly use the adapters on the platform. The reason that when we chose Itential is because, like I said, our environment is truly hybrid. It is a combination of providers that we use from public cloud and as well as our on-prem environments. The platform has the adapter that can come from both worlds, and it perfectly suited our needs. And more importantly, the integrations with several products as well as the downstream and upstream tools within the world of DevOps and ITIL, where we were able to quickly integrate and still fit for the purpose of the enterprise, how a true enterprise would operate. As you can assume, a large enterprise like us have perfect processes and procedures in place, right? The goal is to make sure the automation fits the processes and also continue to evolve the processes. And when I talked about the reskilling, low code was a perfect choice. We didn't spend a lot of time in learning. Rather, we spent a lot of time in learning through the process of automation and how to apply the adapters, which means ability to drag and drop. If you remember the IIT Scratch programming, which the kids used to learn their school days, Itential was almost like that for us, right? We were able to take, drag and drop the interfaces, connect the adapters, connect the Legos, and that developed as a program. And none of us today see the code. We see the perfect workflow on the platform, and the engineers see the outcome as a result, and by giving the right facts. And when we took this strategy further deeper into the organization, where the whole organization is delivering infrastructure as a code, and network plays a very significant role in that process. And we were able to deliver the entire network services in a box by putting services built inside the platform of Itential. And we started wrapping up that as the APIs and started delivering, here is F5, take it as a service. Here is firewall, take it as a service. Here is DNS, take it as a service. And with the good integrations that we have with Git and ServiceNows and other tools, we were able to natively extend what we built within the platform to the larger organization as a complete code. And like I said in the beginning, the team decided what we need to do. It's not the top down, it's the bottom up decision where when we did the POC work, the team really said, this is the right step. We are in the right journey. The work that we did in the past year is really to get here. What that means is ability to make sure that our availability goals are met, ability to make sure that we are able to simplify the platforms that we use in the network, and ability to make sure that we're able to standardize the code that we use in the network. All of that work that we've done in the past year have become a true foundation of we are at a perfect time of choosing Itential to do our network automation.
Awesome. Super impressive what you guys have been on to, and looking forward to the next couple of years tracking where you go on your journey. But maybe for the last couple minutes, we can spend just giving some guidance and insight to folks. I think most organizations I talk to are somewhere on that journey. They might be very early, or they might be more mature. But the idea here is that how we operate and manage networks, the complexity increasing, the consumability, the expectations of our end users is changing quite dramatically. So maybe just some guidance or insights for anybody thinking about either starting their journey or going faster.
Absolutely right. I think it's very exciting to share our journey on this platform. Start with a very impactful use cases within network group. All of us deal with several devices, thousands of devices, I would say, and with cloud coming in, several multi-cloud and hybrid environments. You need to be close with your developers. You need to be close with your customers to understand what their requirements are, what they need in their DevOps. Developers are already delivering code, building code through their pipeline. So understand what they consume from an infrastructure side. So listening and understanding a requirement of a developer who is building the applications is the key, and making sure that you have a good process to drive the backlog, prioritize the backlog, and govern the entire process so that you can start with a very impactful use cases and deliver that vision to value that I talked in the beginning. And second, be aggressive on your automation, right? As many of us in the past would have dealt with automation as a more of an opportunity to do so. Rather, we were all busy with our mainstream work of building the network constantly, managing the network constantly, driving those availability goals. But it is a perfect time to be aggressive in your automation approach. When you start your automation strategy, make it as your mainstream goal and have a sponsor for your progress, and make sure that you're able to deliver significant value in a shorter wins, and make it as a clear epics and stories. That way you have that same capability and vocabulary built in your teams. That way, when you sit with the developer, you can still have the same Scrum language and deliver in the same pace. The industry of networking moving from availability to a consumability. That's important. I'm sure many of us have done everything that we can do to drive that availability to either deliver 5 9, 6 9, 7 9 availability goals through multiple strategical initiative. But now the industry is moving towards how can we consume faster, how can we deliver the code faster, how can we deliver product faster in the market. So making the network services nimble, consumable, and ease of use is going to be the future. And build a strategy that way everybody can consume, and Itential, I'm sure, plays a critical role in the process. With the entire workforce have gone working from home, they're working from different parts of the world. The goal is also moving towards providing an on-demand network. What that means is ability to scale up and scale down your network bandwidth and network infrastructure based on the consumption is going to be making your service much more successful. And with thousands of devices, it's not manually possible to scale up and scale down. So with thorough automation in place, you can apply golden configurations, build devices, scale the bandwidth, upscale the infrastructure, downscale whenever there is no need. All of these are possible through a pure automation in place, and leveraging platforms like Itential will really help move faster in the process.
Awesome. Well, I know we're up against time, so I wanted to say thank you for joining me in the keynote today. I appreciate the time. And if there's anybody that would like to come talk to Itential, visit our virtual booth, CRPOC, and enjoy the rest of the show.